Yes, so I am indeed in Marash, and in fact, I'm in the city centre, once a modern, vibrant, beautiful city, now completely decimated. I'm going to step aside for just a second to give you a sense of what it's looking like here. Mountain after mountain after mountain after mountain of rubble, all where buildings once stood. What I say once, just over a week ago. Now, this is the scene that we're seeing in some of the worst hit cities in this part of Turkey. Cities like Antakya, which we visited a few days ago, Marash itself, some others as well. This was a city of 500,000 people. It is now a ghost town. There's no electricity. There is nobody here. It's very difficult to find any food. And it's not just within the city. It's within, I would say, 100-kilometre perimeter of the city. So it is really an entire region that has been just decimated as a result of the twin earthquakes, we must remember. You did mention that some people are being found. On average, it is around 6 or 7 every day across the region. Bearing in mind, this is now more than 220 hours after the earthquake took place. But it does beg the question. It's a very uncomfortable thing to think about, but it does beg the question. If they are finding some survivors, then surely there must be others. So this is some of the challenges that the Turkish authorities, along with foreign rescuers, are having to face and having to deal with, not to mention the 200 or so thousand people who have been injured physically and mental trauma as well. Plans need to be made how to deal with them. At the moment, many of them are living in tents. That's only going to work for a short period. What happens in the long term? All of these questions remain to be answered. Already, the authorities are talking about rebuilding the areas that have been affected, rebuilding entire towns, entire cities. How is that going to happen? Well, time will tell.
Shamim, as we look at these rescue and recovery efforts, I can't help but wonder about how the teams who are tasked with this difficult job doing. We are hearing PTSD is now and will be a concern. What are they sharing as they come off the rubble piles for breaks between looking for survivors and pulling out dead bodies?
Well, we need to bear in mind that they have been working around the clock for coming up to day 9 now. So that gives you an indication of just how difficult it has been physically, absolutely mentally as well. The other thing that we're hearing is many of the rescue workers themselves have lost family members. We've heard this several times. Their parents, their brothers, sisters, siblings, wives have died in the earthquake, and yet they are taking part in the rescue mission. We've met people like this. So that gives you an indication of just how much pressure they're under. Now, the government is providing mental health treatment, psychologists, psychiatrists, counsellors for those who need it. But it really seems like, you know, the first responders are the ones who are having to, to a great extent, having to bear the brunt of this terrible disaster.
In some of the communities, particularly the one you're in now, the buildings that are left standing, are they habitable? Are they safe? Are people living there, or is it desolate?
No, it's an absolute ghost town. There's not a single person in any of these buildings. But you raise a very good point, because many buildings are still standing. But there has been, inspectors have been going around the affected areas, testing them for their safety. And many of them will have to come down. Their foundations have been shaken as a result of these twin earthquakes. Bear in mind, there have been more than 3,000 aftershocks since the twin earthquakes took place last Monday. And in fact, there have been at least 4 in our region where we are today, measuring around 4 and 5 on the Richter scale. So that's not mild. So a lot of these buildings may still be standing, but they are going to have to come down. And until there is complete assurance that the buildings are safe, or at least until new ones are built, no one's going to come back to these areas.
3,000 aftershocks. It is just unbelievable. 220 hours into this. You mentioned that thousands of people have left. It's a ghost town. There's a conflict going on in Syria. They're trying to find survivors as well. Where do all these people go?
Well, there are, in fact, just about an hour or so outside of this city, there was a huge tent city that has been constructed over the past week or so, and many people are living in those. Now, a lot of those, in fact, most of them, at least 200,000 or so, has been provided by AFAD, and that is the Turkish Emergency Management Authority. They're heated inside. They can house up to about 10 people, perhaps even a few more, and they are being provided with food, basic medical necessities, anything they need for their children. But this is a short-term arrangement. Now, I have to add at this point as well, it's not just AFAD. There are some international rescue teams who are here as well, and they too have constructed these temporary homes. We saw some Qatari ones just about an hour or so away from where we are. And there are other agencies helping as well, relief agencies, not just with accommodation, but all manner of things that survivors may need. But really, I think the question is, how long is this going to last? There's going to come a point when media attention is going to move away from what's happening in Turkey. People's attention will move away, and yet hundreds of thousands of people will be left here to have to deal with this for many years to come, most likely.
Yeah, no, the news cycle will shift, but our focus should not. Shameen Chowdhury in Marash, Turkey this morning. We appreciate the update as always. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.